I'm originally from Thompson, Manitoba, and I am an addiction medicine specialist and a family physician. For me, part of my journey in coming into medicine was really to come back and support northern and rural communities. And when I was in med school, I don't even recall having one course dedicated to addiction. And it wasn't until I moved into residency and I started to go back home. One aspect working in a small rural community is that when you see on that personal level, the struggle of someone that you went to school with or someone that was a friend of the family, it hits you extra hard. You really feel very impassioned to try to make a difference and not stand by and watch that continue to happen. This problem is bigger than any of us, and we're so hidden under the table with it. Patients feel very shameful. It's like this, hidden elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about, yet it's one of our biggest issues. And I don't know if our healthcare system and our medical structures actually identify or recognize that to the degree that we're seeing that in our community. And, we want resources, we want education, we want ways to help, and yet we didn't have them necessarily in our training. And providers don't necessarily recognize it as a health condition. And it's not just providers, but rather public at large, community, the health system. And we know that addiction is a health condition like other chronic illnesses, and it's not something that gets fixed in 28 days. It's something that is very multi-layered, that has, at the core of it, humanity, dignity, respect. And we need to help provide that non-judgmental lens and, that openness to have difficult conversations, but at the same time, let them know we are here and we're walking this journey with you. Often patients who come in asking for help, and believe me, that's the hardest step, is to come in and ask for help. We have to be ready. We have to be ready to mobilize those things and start what we call that therapeutic relationship, so they know and feel that they are recognized as a human, and that they're not being judged and devalued. To have that sensitivity towards discussions around and supporting people around their traumas is very critical, because people have gone through a lot of things that have caused them distrust in the system, distrust in others. We need to help repair some of those damages that have been done. And too many times I see patients that have gone to see their doctor or their nurse practitioner and never ever been offered medication as part of that care. This is an area that we really need to improve on to help provide tools so that way people can feel more prepared in a fulsome way. The neurobiopsychosocial component is really important when we're offering our care, in addition to that humanity. And there's a lot of fear around addiction. And so, if I prescribe, what does that mean for this individual? I think it's really important that we screen and treat it like any other area of health, meaning that, make that part of our discussion. So when someone comes in and say they're presenting for a complete physical, or they're coming in for a mental health reason, there's nothing wrong with doing check-ins and asking in a very non-judgmental, kind of open fashion. And I always let the patient guide where the conversation will go, but I try to be very open and honest about things. And I think if we are, as providers, that helps ease the tension and open up the floor for patients to feel more comfortable. My patients are actually my heroes. Just recognizing how much that takes to get to the door and sit in front of me. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a history. And it's so easy on the surface to kind of look at something and look at someone and say, they might have made bad decisions. But when you understand what all that meant to walk through in their shoes and you hear some of these stories, it only pales in the ability that you have to offer kind of that compassion. And so I think that's very humbling and something that reminds me how real life is in a way that I wouldn't get from medicine outside of addiction medicine.